A beautiful morning to you, viewers. This is now streaming on ACNNTV. I am Adeshewa Orioye, and with me in the studio are Mr. Ernest Orji. He is a social commentator, and also good luck Onye Chuku Ojuyenu. He is the CEO of Growing Digital Brand Strategist. I'm sorry, I hope I did not murder your name too much. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Fine.
All right. Viewers, do not forget to call in and make your contributions through our phone number or social media handles, both which are displayed on your screen. If you're just joining us, this is now streaming. And the topic for today's discussion is, should the use of social media have an age limit? Well, we all know in this present time, social media has become an integral part of the modern life, with billions of people around the world using platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. However, as social media usage continues to grow, concerns have been raised about the potential risks and consequences of social media usage for children and even adults. One key issue is whether social media platforms should impose age limits to protect young users. Now, in this discussion, my guest in the studio will examine the pros and cons of imposing age limit on social media. Let's get started. And I have Mr. Good Luck with me and Ernest Oji, who is going to, actually highlight, explain, give how to discuss this. Like I said, the pros and cons will be discussed. So viewers, please don't go anywhere. This is very interesting part. I think the social media needs sensitization. This is not talking from emotion. Yes, it needs sensitization. Now, if you want to share your comment, please, you can call in, send your comment via our social media platforms, and I'll definitely read them. Now, how can you help the viewers understand what social media is? Because in this time, I find it interesting as how even youth I don't want to use misused, but it's scary out there. So, please, any one of you can.
Okay. First, let me start by appreciating the ACNN for bringing up this topic, because it's something that has been eating deep in the country, not just the country, but the youth generally and children. So I'll start by defining what I think social media is. I think it refers to an online platform or tool that allow users to create, share, and interact with content, information, and other users in a virtual environment. Now, this platform have become an integral part of our modern lives, enabling people to connect with others worldwide, share experience, and access vast amounts of information. Like we have the Facebook, the TikTok, WhatsApp, Instagram, and all of that. So the social media is supposed to be a blessing, giving us opportunity to interact with wider coverage of people. And of course, we see a lot of things happening. Yes, we use it positively, at least through the social media. We've been able to interact, even having this program running
on the platform
and all.
It has given people food on the table.
Yeah, so social media in itself is not a bad idea, but it all depends on the usage. So that takes us to the topic for discussion. If age limit should be will I say should be imposed? Yeah. Of course, yes. It should be. Looking at the trajectory of what is happening today, we see that there's a lot of things going on online as regards people managing information, dishing out content, reaching out. Unlike we have in those days where you could monitor your children, tell them stay at home, and you are sure of what they are doing. But today, even while they are sitting with you are still not sure of what they are doing. Like those days where you want to watch movies, you'll be cautious of the kind of movie you watch and all. In fact, at some point you want to close your eyes, or you be looking at the faces of your parents.
When your parents are not there, you don't...
even till now, if you are grown from that, that will bring in you. Whenever you're watching, you'll be like looking at this person. But today, you see all sorts of things, and also it is actually a big risk, a huge risk on our young ones. And of course, age limits should be imposed. But the question now is how possible is it?
Yeah. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I think age limits. I think there's actually an age limit for social media.
Okay.
I think there's an EU law that stipulates about 13 years for social media usage. So if you're not up to 13, you're not allowed to use it. As usual, people can change their date of birth and also this is because kids are smart these days. But they should be, and I think parents should be the ones to make those moves in the first place. Before your child, I think I even tell my niece can start with a tab. That's fine. They are fine with the YouTube shows and all those things.
Yeah.
Spend time with them so they don't need because oftentimes we try to keep them distracted so that we can do some other things, and then we allow them spend time on this platform. Before you know it becomes a no. But I feel from the household there should be limit already. Like it shouldn't be something that comes to your mind before that age. Social media, it's something you hear but you're not interested in. It should be like that, but not something that because when in some places you're already hearing your friend is already using this platform, is on this platform and all, then but there should be laws. Those EU's laws, we should have them even in Nigeria here, whereby so person should not be on this platform, and then the owners will know that you can be sued.
Yeah.
If you actually, you might say you're not aware, but it makes you put more gates to make sure you check people who are on your platforms whenever they sign up on these things. Else, what they might be is the risk of inappropriate exposure early. Do they have the emotional maturity to deal with what they're going to meet there? We, even the grown-ups, sometimes just screwing up your phone first. The emotional ones you see and like you feel like you're not doing well or you could do better, and then there are lies. There's so many things. So for a young person, sometimes they see that as a reality. So it's not advisable early. I'm against any, at least, even, 13, because I've interacted with some people, 13 is okay.
I feel the only way you can actually do this, impose this limit is probably when there's room for biometric. Because if you check even Facebook, if you go check some person's profile, somebody age 105.
Exactly.
Yes. So that should, I think then if you're below year 2000, like you were born later than year 2000, you cannot be able to even register your Facebook. But what is it? It's not just to. But
some people will lie.
Pick any.
Exactly.
Most people.
Just
pick any thing. So long you want to be on Facebook, you must be on Facebook. Just because there's no way of checking. But if there was the way we restrict age in our workplace, and even if it is not that easy, but at least if there's a room for biometric. Of course, there will be ways to check. And in a country like ours, that there's no data.
Because we have countries that actually impose some of this.
Yes, that's when you have strong database. You can tell where somebody is at a particular point and at a place. But right now, everybody do things the way they want, and getting to track these people is not easy. Okay. Moreover, when you are using, so you can actually use somebody's phone self to access whatever you want.
Because I believe parents, it starts with them, because we actually have that control from the Google accounts, the email accounts that will be created in the first place. You have room to create family accounts that have limited access. So if we are intentional about that, I want to protect this child, I will have created an email for the child and then put those limits, and they know they cannot use it more, and then you sort of like you can monitor that
is going on
from the house already. When you create that, there are some schools already that have email access, but the email access, there are limited places you can use them. So that way, when we start from the household, start controlling them, it's easier. Because if you already let that out of your hands, and they create their own emails and change all those things by themselves.
I think there's this iPad that is children friendly.
Okay.
That you can get them. Now it's restricted to whatever they want. They want to check for the assignments and all. Like the iPad is just for that stage. But for teenagers, I think the parent need to look closely and watch what they do.
Yeah. All the ecosystem has that.
Yes.
Apple has for family and privacy, they have that one. So create it for your kids and put them, whatever app they download, you get to see. And if they encourage you, have the conversations with them. It makes them open, like, okay, you download this app and all. So what app is this? You look through their tabs and say, well, you downloaded this game, so tell me about the game. Have those conversations with them gradually. Then even if they will begin to ask questions normally. Before they go, they will ask questions about the platform, like what's happening on Instagram and all, and they want to check. They will try to come through you first. When they realize you're sort of like it's keeping it, they're like, okay, I can get it from my friends.
Exactly.
So make it, open the conversations with them, and there's nothing there. Or you say, come and see on my phone, and that way it doesn't feel like you've hindered them. So like I can check with mommy's phone when I need, so I don't need distance. I have some friends that they don't want to be on the platform. They feel like they're not interested in what's happening there because they have access to it. So it feels like when you're trying to hinder it is when you now say, okay, let's see what's happening there.
Exactly, they'll be more inquisitive.
So set up from the Gmail, create a Gmail for your child when it's time. Create a Gmail, a family Gmail that has access, so they can use it for signing up. You have a little level of control over it. For the Apple own, create that, and the sharing. You have screen sharing also, where you can see screen time usage.
Yes.
So these functions are ready just to use them. Then you monitor.
Anyways, I would like to take a comment here from our online viewer, but this is reacting to Odumeje for president. He said, God, I beg you. From the video clip, he was joking. Oh, if we take it so seriously, politicians might see him as an opposition. They should leave him to keep repeating questions like someone who is having ear problems, whereas he's just catching a cruise. He was operating from Abido Shika when he made the statement. Okay. Now that's actually hilarious. Our content creating fast. Anyways, viewers, I would like to read more comments from you and what social media is for you, what you even use it for, and if there should be a minimum age limit in using this. Now, we actually touched a lot from control parent. The thing now is, do adults themselves have control on using the social media? Because I feel from years back, you're an adult, you're to help the generation coming behind you that, okay, don't do this. But we now have adults who are all in the name of content. They are even luring kids into some of these things. There was a particular content that I saw. It was displeasing to watch. In fact, a lot of content are displeasing to watch. When somebody raised an eyebrow towards it, the next thing is they start slamming down the person that, oh, well, who are you? Like the case of a particular content creator that goes about the female gender, and if I see such I take it off. And again, there is also a part where I like, and that setting is actually nice. This is an adult. I synthesize some of the content that I want to watch and some that I don't want to see. Because how can even you, with complete sense, somebody is interviewing you, and do you understand the kind of decadence that's going on out there? And somebody call you out that how come it is now bad to this extent, and you people are saying because of he's a betting ambassador. Now there was back and forth, and trying to look at it with an open mind. is like people are even they've closed their ears to the truth that actually this content is wrong. The people enabling it, and even the person that is bringing out the idea to create this content. Now, how can that adult control what the children see?
Exactly.
We have YouTube that comes up with some kind of pop-up, even as an adult that you watch. We have web browsers that comes up with some kind of pop-up. So we also have adults who feels, oh, buying gadget for my kids as same as this silly, well, I call it silly. I'm not a celebrity, so I don't see a point of opening an account that I'll be operating all in the name of my child.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I feel we are talking about imposing age limit, but even the adult needs some sensitization. What do you think about that? It should, we adults, the way they go now, like this, make it they go.
I think the problem is not even the content. The question now is, what is the drive? Right now, everybody wants to make it big. There is no regulatory, like, it is now a case of getting likes, getting comments, getting views, making money. Since I think all this content and all started when Facebook and other social media handles monetization. Yeah, so everybody wants to just put in something that will drag traffic and all. So, and that has further given us this problem of what even our media, the regulatory body, don't even see all these things anymore. They don't care. Maybe it's a form of distracting the youth from looking at the real problem of the country. Because if you look today, people don't really talk about national issues. In fact, I can tell you that a lot of people don't even know their leaders.
If you see some post that deals with some of the decadence that is happening in this, you don't see comment, but let it be about Lamborghini what's this and what not, you will see 10,000.
So I feel this it is actually a ploy to, as even the service providers, I think they are gaining from this. So to them, regulating it is data usage. Regulating it is more or less like reducing their subscribers and all. So I think the only people that can do this is the countries where this thing has been done, like Nigeria, where I think we're supposed to have a regulatory body that controls what goes on air and all.
I think there was a time the House of Assembly actually proposed that, but they did not. Maybe they did not use it in the language they used was not. They have their own agenda. Please, they have their own agenda because we all know where that came from politically.
Yes.
So they feel, and a lot of people say, keypad warriors, you're hiding behind your keypad. So a lot of people actually had a voice using their phone.
Yes.
But possibly face to face. So they feel, okay, if this is where you people, the youth, have their voice, let's take it from them. We all know that is the agenda. But then, when it's two-way for me. It's two ways for me. There's positive side of it. There's also a negative side of it. Would you like to?
Yeah, first from the parent side, starting from, because the young ones end up becoming parents who have kids that we're talking about having control. But that's what these avenues are like for, to share and tell people. Like what you did, what you spoke about, controlling the content you see. I remember doing that early in my Instagram, I think like 2019 or so. Sometimes I just ask myself, why am I following? Because actually then I was dealing with an addiction and I really wanted to control some things I see. So I was like, really, what on earth? Am I helping myself coming online and seeing all this content every day? And it wasn't really healthy. I decided I just took the pain and I unfollowed. It's like, I'm not going to miss this person. I unfollowed. Even comedians then, I just unfollowed a lot of them. Because that's why I respected a few. I think one of the few then I respected was Lively and what's his name, Lassisi and Funny, because they didn't really sort of bring in women unnecessarily in their clips. But even now, I don't even come on the platform. I work on the platform, but I don't use it that much.
Yeah, it happens. People don't believe that.
I work on the platform, but oftentimes I'm rarely on my own personal page.
Yeah.
Because now I'm not really working on my personal brand, so I'm often on the other people's page. I work community management and all. So even on that place, I mute a lot of unnecessary.
Yes.
Because you see them over time and they desensitize you because you begin to feel numb to them.
Yeah.
So you have to intentionally say this thing. These things are becoming an addiction and control.
Yes.
Like you can't stay a day without going and checking. I've learned not to do that. I'm not interested. Realize there's nothing you're missing out. There's always the fear of missing out. Yeah, you need to put things out there, but control from there. If you can establish that level of control, then you can transfer it.
True.
I tell my siblings and I tell them, like, sometimes realize, I would love to share this thing, but really, do I care? You ask yourself, if you go on an exotic trip, are you really enjoying the experience, or you want people to know that you enjoy this experience?
Exactly.
So there's this thing, and are you doing good for people? Are you harming them?
Yourself.
Because there's this thing, I want people to know that I'm cool. I want people to know that whatever I'm doing. So yeah, it earns me respect. It has been some like social records, like status and all that. You're good, and some people are not. Some people want, because they can't access that life, they want to see that. But in as much as you're showing that, what's the mental stuff on their own? How is it affecting them? Now that you're saying this, you're now using it. This woman posted a new picture of the child and on. I'm like, oh, my own child. I've not even bought a clothes for them. How is that affecting you? So we intentionally need to have this control ourselves. When you establish that control for yourself.
Okay. Sorry, we have a caller. We'll continue. Right. Okay.
Hello, good morning. My name is Sunday. My name is Eze, calling from Abuja.
Good morning, Mr. Eze. Go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, thank you. Talking about social media have limits for children and all that. I think we should also know that generation comes, generation goes, and the generation we are is the generation that has to do with internet, where children access internet without restriction, without someone guiding them. And several things you see on internet, just like your anchor said, some of them have advantage, while some have disadvantage. So much so as we may try to regulate the use of the social media for our children or for the kids, we should also try to regulate the content we put out there. You know, you will see a child who is already a fan of a particular content creator or a comedian or someone out there. So as much as you may try to regulate or guide this child is more or less gaining or getting some things from this particular content creator or the comedian or whatsoever the person is doing. So as we may try to regulate our kids, our children from using social media, we should also sensitize the need for the regulation of the content we put out there, because we cannot totally regulate our kids from using social media, but we can actually try to help to put out things that will be educative, things that will help them in a better way. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that contribution. Viewers, please do not forget, I still want to read your comment, and you can also call in to contribute. Yeah, you were saying something.
Yeah. I've lost the thoughts, but what he said.
Yes,
actually,
I was even coming to that.
Yeah.
Just like I said, there's the positive side, there's the negative side. Yeah. So now there are questions from what he said. I want to know, does the benefit of children actually being on social media, does it outweigh the potential risks on them, or does the good outweigh the bad? Does the bad outweigh the good, or does it balance?
For me, actually the bad outweigh the good.
Okay.
Because if you look at it like what he said, regulating the content. If you look today, there's this pressure.
Now that's to the adult side. We're still coming to
even
that.
To the children.
Even to the
children. To me, I think it's from us to them. So if you want to even regulate, and it's supposed to be from us to them, but
yes, even to the children. Like ideally, the social media gives them access to fast information.
Yes.
Unlike those days, you have to go to the bookshop to get one or two things. But today, if you need anything, just go online. In less than 10 seconds, you've gotten what you wanted. But then, the question now is, what are the other things that may pop up? This distraction, even to we adults. Sometimes even our valuable time, our productive time. You see people, you see them serious with their system, but you see them either on WhatsApp or doing something else. I know there's this the way the mind works when something just pop up. That is the idea of art. Something just pop up, like, let me see this. Before you know, it keeps taking you from one place to another. Now for children, the disadvantages. Imagine having your family. We are disconnected to family and more connected to virtual people out there.
Yes.
And that's why you see children, they don't get to play with each other. They're always on their phone. Even to their parents, they don't even get to talk to anybody.
Even parents too are addicted to their phones.
They don't get to talk to anybody. And before you know, there is this disconnection among siblings. And you see somebody well connected to somebody that you may never see.
Even know.
Then also the case of depression, the case of bullying, and all on the internet. Like if you look at this issue of advanced fee fraud, I would say as Yahoo, it is as a result of peer pressure, because for children, the level of them as getting to process this information is low as compared to adults. Someone like us, there are some things we say now for you to just say, okay, you are restricting yourself from some content, and we should know that children are explorers. They want to know. So in the bid of them trying to know, both their productive time goes down, their social skills is being affected. Their social skills is being affected, even their academic performance. You see time they are supposed to give into studying, they are online. They'll tell you, yes, mommy, we are doing assignments and all, but meanwhile they are busy chatting and every other thing. Before you know, it drops. So the disadvantage actually outweigh the advantage for children. For adults, because you can regulate what you want. So there may be an advantage, but we know that you can't, if you're not careful, you can't even control what you do if you're not careful, because you see most times you see people being online. Some people wake up with their phone. The first thing you wake up, let me check. Someone want to check notifications. Someone to see if they've gotten more likes in a particular post. And if you look at, we're talking about the content online. If you post some educational content,
we all know it.
You will see maybe 1 or 2 comments. When you just post one thing that has to do with 1 million, and so it all depends on interest. So it starts from the family, like we identified earlier.
Okay, for good luck, he said 13 is the age you feel should start. What's just the age? What age will you put?
For me, it depends on what the content is like. But for me, you should be an adult. Let's say 18. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
That's
foul. That's foul.
That's why I say. That's why I say it depends on the content.
The content. Okay.
Yes. Because as much as we deal with children, we are also fighting a particular age range, which are the teenagers.
Right. Yes.
I think theirs is even more pressure
because they are the ones that want to
imagine
explore.
when you see a 16 years or 17 years old boy or girl telling you that he needs to make money because he's seen his counterpart driving different kind of this thing, and the pressure, and that is actually the age of exploration. So I think that is the age we should even concentrate on more.
All right.
For children, we can manage them, but for teenagers, takes the grace of God.
I'll take your last word as we round off
foundations. I always say it. I often it might sound biased because I'm more being a Christian and my ideology is different. But let's say if the foundation is broken, what can the righteous do? So we're given access to these kids in our homes for a reason. You have an opportunity to influence them, guide them early. Because if you guide them rightly from the household, they would not deviate. They will not deviate at all. So it's always advisable that at home, spend time, interact with them. A child that is already used to communicating with a child, there's a building phase. That's why I use that 13. Between, if you have a good relationship with your family, your household, between 4 to 10, 12, that age, if you have you already have a core that you always come back. You want to spend time with them. You're already used to going out for events with them, you go for birthdays, you go for outings, you go for picnic, you have that. You're not going to crave it out there when you already have that. You look forward to dinners with your parents. Maybe if you are fortunate enough, you can travel with them. It's not something they are looking for that anything will excite them. It's their normal life every day. So at home, our parents, we as a parent, or even as uncles and aunties, starts there. Like if I go and see my, pardon me, I'm not calling right. Male is nephew.
Yes.
Nephew, I keep mixing that up.
I do too.
So if I go see him, any day I go, I don't use this. I stay. Last time I went, I spent the Christmas with him. We're just reading storybook. I was reading Pinocchio, and I wanted him, and I was okay. So tell me, what do you think about this? I can spend 3 hours with him and forget this. I don't care about him. So he looks forward to me coming to spend time with him, and all. Over time, when the parents have that for him, he's not looking forward to distract himself.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is our own part, and this is what we can do actually. Because when we do that, it will help them. You will not find kids who are now craving the audience outside when when they have it inside. Even for females, often I've realized that a child who has a good relationship with the father and the brother often is also crazy about every passes that gets. So
that's right.
There's a core.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's where we are. So let's contribute from there.
All right. I want to thank you, gentlemen.
Sorry, let me just add. So for me, we should not undermine the place of prayer.
Right.
Prayer also help with discernment too, because you see sometimes there are some things you just, even adults, there are some things you want and you discover that you no longer find interest in them.
Yes.
Forgetting to, you may not know why, but the truth is maybe there's someone behind us, our parent, praying for us, that will help guide our thoughts and every other thing. So we shouldn't undermine the prayer. As parents, we should also pray for our children.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, gentlemen, so much for your robust contribution all the way on this episode, from the discussion of the newspaper review to this particular topic, and to our viewers who actually stayed with us and contributed and called in. I want to say a big thank you. Now, the question of whether social media should have an age limit is complex. While imposing age limits to help children from the potential risk of social media, it may also limit their access to valuable information and educational resources. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to impose age limit on social media usage should be based on careful consideration of the potential benefits and drawbacks. So now, this is adults or grown-ups and children working together. Adults, be careful of the content you put out there. Then this will help you control what the children take in. Don't forget, children are teenagers, absorb whatever they see, watch, hear, and all of that. This is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of Now Streaming. I am Adeshewa Oyoye. Bye for now.